defence here. And there is Bailey Mez. 75 tests. Maya Wilson, goal attack, and Grace Nweki, the 20-year-old. And then here come the substitutes. Love the way they bring the teams on here at Birmingham. There is the huddle as we await the arrival of Trinidad and Tobago. And look at that. They always do something just a little bit different, particularly if Shaquanda Green-Noel has anything to do with it, their captain. Crowd favourite here in Birmingham. There's Anisha Baptiste. Shooting at goal defence. Jeresia McCracken, we've already rather talked about her. Oprah Douglas. They know that they will have a tough game ahead of them. Chantel Simangal. Jolisa Cooper. And I'm sure she has played in more than a few of those 21 games against New Zealand before. And then the shooter, Afisha Noel. So the teams are on the court. Here come the substitutes. And Lisa, what do you expect from this game?
I'm actually expecting Trinidad and Tobago to come out really strongly in this first quarter. I'm excited to see this lineup out there.
Look at that. They love the limelight. As well, most of us do, don't we? But Shaquanda Green-Noel, she is a real entertainer. Oh, game on, and we start with a break. So, underway now. You talked about Bailey Mez at wing attack. What do you think the thinking is there?
The thinking is to actually explore the depth of New Zealand's bench and to ensure that there is a real alternative to the captain, Crampton. So I like Bailey Mez's presence in wing attack. I think she's got great strength, elevation, and she defends down court like an absolute demon.
And they may well need that tonight. Trinidad and Tobago, they're a brave team. The Calypso Girls was their moniker. So Baptiste helps from the transverse line. They build again, and look where Cooper ends up. Over the top, perfect pass to her shooting partner.
Great defence there by Jury, really getting up over the shot.
I love the way Bailey Mez just floats into the centre third.
Yes. Step forward, goalkeeper.
As you know, Jenny, Laura Geitz rates her as her most difficult opponent.
Advantage obstruction, goal defence. Contact goalkeeper.
So, another one for New Zealand. A lot of interest in this shooting combination this way round. Nweki under the post, Maya Wilson out at goal attack. You like it?
I do like it. I actually like the way Nolene Taurua has really put her faith into Nweki, and she's building the team around that, and I think Nweki is repaying her. She's growing with each game.
And there's another player who's repaying her, Kate Heffernan at wing defence. Never stops. Oh, mistake from Wilson right through the hands. So turnover ball, opportunity for Trinidad and Tobago.
I mean, we know Wilson as generally a shooter. However, I think she does a really good job at goal attack. She gives confidence to the attack end.
Well, that attack just peters out from Trinidad and Tobago, ends up in the hands of Sulu Fitzpatrick. Been interesting to see where Toru uses her, traditionally a goalkeeper, but we've seen her out at goal defence a few times.
Obstruction, goalkeeper.
I think she just brings that strength and presence to the goal defence position, and she talks a lot on court. That's what I see from, definitely from Fitzpatrick.
Oh, good balance from Nweki, and she had to be quick then. At 3 seconds, you're only allowed 3 seconds with the ball. So Trinidad and Tobago, they need to score.
Yeah, the centre Douglas didn't quite get in the centre circle at the right time, and if you don't, it actually will cause a breaking from your teammate. So Samungal did okay not to break then.
Oh, that was lovely shooter-to-shooter pass.
Yeah, great take there, but it's brought back.
Bondage obstruction, centre.
Mia straight away looks towards the shooting circle.
Bondage contact offside, centre. Goal defence obstruction inside.
Both defenders
Inside
working
the goal
hard to
circle.
try and squash the two New Zealand shooters together. So Trinidad have got a
Goalkeeper
set game
obstruction,
plan.
penalty. Contact goal defence, both players.
Trinidad and Tobago will need to address their penalty count. They don't want to be umpired out of the game.
Well, talking about umpiring out of the game, that happened just in the last game between England and Uganda. The Ugandan player was suspended in the dying moments. It was a pretty physical game. That one just goes straight to Kelly Jury. They need to be more accurate, Trinidad and Tobago.
This New Zealand side has such presence on court. They're very, very tall and powerful women out there. And Kelly Jury is really difficult to get through.
So, first goal of the game for Maya Wilson. Almost 5 minutes gone. 6-2 New Zealand lead. Oh, there's a bumble from Heffernan.
Bondage obstruction, goal attack.
Trinidad and Tobago are trying, and there's the hoist.
Well, it worked, didn't it?
It did work, and obviously it's a great tactic, and they want to try it, and they've got the elevation and the strength to do that.
I almost feared for Nweki's life then. I thought Baptiste was coming at her. Look at this.
I mean, Baptiste has got great elevation as it is. So to be thrown up in the air like that, there she is again. Jury is a brick wall for Trinidad and Tobago to try and get through. I think she's having a terrific tournament, by the way, Jury. She's very, very steady.
Well, it's coming on the back of a fantastic year for Kelly Jury. Co-captain of the Central Pulse with Tiana Maturo. Won the ANZ Premiership, which is the New Zealand domestic competition.
I'm actually enjoying the intensity from the Trinidad and Tobago defence line. As I said, I want to see what they're doing. They're actually working their one-on-one very tightly, and they're making it difficult. So hopefully they'll get a few tips and deflections soon.
Baptiste helping out across to Douglas. Jury even thought about going that far. She can't go into that centre third.
You'll see the New Zealand defenders working that space, the traditional space marking of New Zealand inside the circle. There's Partika. Hopefully she will have some time out on court tonight.
And look at the work that they're doing on the bands in the background. Tapaya Selby-Rickett.
It will be interesting to see what Coach Tarua does in this game. Will she make her traditional changes at quarter time and each quarter?
Obstruction by the goal shoot. Just move in.
Well, talking about phenomenal seasons, the goalkeeper for Trinidad and Tobago, Shaquanda Green-Noel, she's had a marvellous season with the Celtic Dragons here in the UK Super League.
Yeah, she certainly has. She's been a stalwart for them and has been a part of their improvement this year.
Queen Kwanda, I think they called her.
They do, and she brings great energy and just that intensity that you need at that top level.
Well, we've seen already, haven't we, that she's an entertainer. Loves the limelight. Just over the halfway mark.
Some really good defensive work there from Wilson, and her coaches will be extremely happy with that workload that she's putting out there.
Well, the flow of goals coming relatively easily for New Zealand in this first half of the first quarter. 12-3. Kuta, what can she spark?
Douglas is really dodging everywhere, trying to make space, which is terrific. That's what she does. She can use her strength and timing and speed.
Oh, sneaky. Oh,
dear.
Oh, Noelle. She's up. Just an awkward slip.
I think she should perhaps ask if we can have the floor wiped again. She certainly, that hurt.
Yeah, she's going for a little wander. Oh, is she wandering all the way off? No, she's coming back. Often, though, with those, some of the little ankles or whatever, you can walk them out.
You certainly can, and if you do call time and you have to get treatment and, you know, someone comes on, it actually means that you have to change. So it's probably a good idea that she did what she did.
Contact wing defense penalty. No defense on the shot.
Just got Sulu Fitzpatrick asking umpire Kate Wright just a little bit of feedback on what she's doing.
And that does not surprise me.
Well, I actually think it's a smart thing. If they've got a good relationship with the umpire, and Kate Wright's a sensible umpire, she won't mind at all because she doesn't want to blow a whistle all the time. That's what I think people have to understand.
Contact, wing attack. It's in the goal third.
Yeah, Sulu Fitzpatrick very keen to ask questions.
Keep it clean, you're breaking twice.
Oh, he's looking for... Oh, now... Look, this floor is starting to worry me. I mean, that's Whitney Sooners down.
I actually think it's the previous game, and maybe the floor actually needs to be a little bit more cleaned, particularly at quarter time now. We don't want the athletes getting injured. Wilson's working really hard on trying to split the defenders. At the moment, they're getting them into squash positions, but Wilson's working hard enough to create that space for Nweki. I actually really like this combination together.
I think New Zealand is hoping that it will be a very effective one. Now, Wilson, as you said, Lisa, you know, usually seen back at goal shoot. Nweki is, I think, probably the one player who will only play one position for New Zealand.
And that's fine. That brings flexibility to their team. We know that Wilson can play shooter and play really well. Beautiful transition there.
Couldn't get finished. Oh, unfortunate. There was a contact. No, that's tough for Trinidad and Tobago.
It was. Baptiste, I think, just touched Wilson there. Probably a tough call.
Oh, this big crowd at the NEC Arena. Of course, I'm sure a lot of them came to see England, but they've stuck around for this game.
We're definitely keen to see the New Zealand Silver Ferns, current world champions. Who wouldn't want to see the world champions playing in a Commonwealth Games, actually?
Oh, and that is another sign of just how greasy, I think, the ball, the court.
The players are actually not meant to be, not deliberately, but going onto the floor with their massage cream on. So,
you think that might be what's going on?
Look, I think that's part of it from the previous game. It actually does end up soaking into the floor.
Wow, high fives all round for Wilson and Nweki. And now, yes, I think Vandenberg is swapping the ball out. You can see Deb Fuller, Nolene Taurua.
They will be a little concerned. They want to make sure that the athletes are well protected, particularly with the big games coming up for New Zealand on Thursday.
Wing attack.
Of course, they've already played 3 matches, and Trinidad and Tobago have only played 2. So I think New Zealand have earned their day off, that they won't have a day off tomorrow. They'll probably do some training.
They will be plotting and scheming ahead of that mammoth game against England on Thursday. That's the one.
And Trinidad and Tobago are actually playing not a bad style of netball. They're trying to keep possession here. It is hard when the ball is slippery, and that is not helpful.
And what was that? Was that replay?
It was a contact, so it was a major infringement. Something that the wing attack did, it probably was an arm or using the body in a way that was interference.
So either which way, another one going the way of New Zealand. They move through to 19-5.
And even up here, I can hear the New Zealand players talking to each other out on court, saying stay disciplined, stay focused. They've got a really good team approach, a great team culture. And there is the master coach. There's no doubt in my mind that she is one of the world's best coaches in any sport.
And that was a great shot down the bench of New Zealand. Oh, that was from Maya Wilson.
It was close to a held ball, I counted, but I have to say Green Noel, she was really putting pressure over that shot, so well done.
Well, I think the Trinidad and Tobago coaching team have got the snazziest outfit. Very, very smart.
I haven't heard the word snazzy for a while, Jenny, but it's a great word to describe it.
Well,
yes, it is. It is snazzy, I agree. If it helps them coach better, I'm all for it, truly. Oh, it's still slippery. Simangal's having trouble with her handling of the ball. She might have to put some grip on her palms. That players actually do that.
And that's a great reward for the New Zealand defence. They just could not go forward, Trinidad and Tobago.
Well,
they had them going right, they had them going left, and then out of court.
Obstruction, we defence.
Oh, well done, Green Noel. Well, there's the hooter for the first quarter. 22-5. New Zealand over Trinidad and Tobago. So let's have a look at the New Zealand bench. I think they'll be pretty pleased with how that first 15 minutes went. So let's have a little bit of a look at what they were doing over the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, lots of smiles happening on the bench from Jury and Fitzpatrick. They knew, and they've had, I think it's about 9 games altogether when you count their intercepts as well, all caused by great defence down the court, plus their ability to read the ball, create that option and opportunity to intercept. Classic New Zealand play.
And those are great pictures. You know, you can see Nweki from that position under the goalpost. She's directing, saying, yes, that way, back that way, which you don't pick up on ordinary pictures during the game.
Absolutely. As a young player who's 20 years old, in her first Commonwealth Games, she's playing with the utmost of maturity. Well done.
So you can see there, Deb Fuller standing just to the right of Nolene Tauruat.
Looks like there's going to be some changes.
And you've got to say, look at the ice packs out on the Trinidad and Tobago players. They have been struggling in this first quarter.
Yeah, they certainly have. And the coaching staff are talking intently, trying to get across some information about what they can do, what they can try. They are trying to keep possession. I actually think McCracken isn't injecting herself into the game as well as I'd seen in previous matches. So we'd like to see a little bit more from her. I think they will change her, maybe put her into goal defence so she can have more impact. Cooper needs to come down the court a little bit more like that, but then she's got to get in and make sure she's offering another shooting opportunity. If you're going to throw the ball like a window wiper like that, and it's shown beautifully on the footage, then that is exactly what the New Zealand defenders want to see. So they need to do some cuts and drives in their attack and take the New Zealand defence on.
And that's a classic result, isn't it? There's that snazzy uniform. So just moments to go before the resumption of the game. 22-5. You can see the face of Shaquanda Green-Noel. Not quite sure what she's doing. I don't know if it's got too much to do with the game.
It's not, but she does know probably quite a few people in the crowd who've come to support her, so which is terrific.
So a lot of changes for New Zealand. They're already out on court. Gina Crampton's on court. Sometimes Selby Rickett. I met him today in the car park.
Wonderful. It's great to see how far, and we know, Jenny and I, how far it is from New Zealand and Australia to England. It is a marathon airplane trip.
I think half the reason this crowd is coming is to groove to the music. They've done it really well here. And now we're ready. Second quarter.
Well, there's been changes all over the court.
Shannon Saunders in at centre. Johnson on at wing defence. Karaka at goal defence. Hughes they've put at goal keep, as does Maya Wilson at goal attack.
I think Saunders also found the ball quite slippery then. She doesn't normally have that sort of handling error, so it must be slippery again. And Selby Rickett actually looks very different with that ponytail, I have to say. I'm used to her having a higher one and she looks taller, but let us see what it does for her.
At speed, she can be mistaken for Kayla Johnson. Oh, well done, Gina Crampton.
And also Wilson. I mean, she is there in position doing her job as a defender and playing goal attack. Wonderful effort.
Well, that's two quick goals for New Zealand. And they're going to pounce on anything that's remotely loose.
Yes, Jenny, you're right. It is actually an intensity measure that all the teams, particularly the top four teams, will have to show that they are working at the required level of the team.
I mean, it's hard, isn't it? How do you gauge the you know, everyone's saying, oh, who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to win? But it's really hard to gauge because the games they've been playing are against the smaller nations, and you don't know what they're doing. They're trying combinations, they're doing this, they're doing that. So it's difficult, isn't it?
It is difficult, but I guess for Nolene and for Deb Fuller, the data they gather from these first two quarters, actually they can compare.
Oh, Fisher Noel, what happened there? Changed her mind. Two of the veterans in this Trinidad and Tobago circle now.
Successfully created space for each other. That is what they need to do more of in that circle. Create their attacking space. Wow, unusual to see Crampton step, actually.
So let's see what... Oh, well done, Shannon Saunders. Thought that might have come off her, but apparently not.
Shannon Saunders working hard, putting those fakes in, trying to draw the Trinidad and Tobago defenders and then opening space. And Selby Rickett reads that space so well. They've got a great connection over many years, of course, when they played together at Steel. That would be right, Jenny?
That would.
And there's Douglas. That's it. See that drive down and penetration. More of that, please, Douglas. However, I think she just hurt herself on that drive.
No, she's just going to redo her laces, I think, and just tighten the shoe.
Oh, thank goodness she's not injured.
Shannon Saunders, the most experienced member of this New Zealand group. This is test number 89 for her tonight.
What a wonderful career she has had as a New Zealand Silver Fern.
Well, she's been an absolute workhorse. Never flashy, never showy, but always puts in absolutely everything.
Great team member, great person.
She's a pharmacist.
And she knows how to understand chemistry, which is fantastic.
Well, that's a very handy thing to know, isn't it?
Oh, beautiful timing there. Just put into space by Crampton, over into the space. Just such skill and timing also from Wilson.
So 20 goals between these two countries. Oh, and there's the held ball.
I'm putting my coach's hat on here. I'm actually barracking for Trinidad and Tobago to actually put an attacking move on to draw the New Zealand defence. If they don't move, then they're not going to be available for that pass. So they must make an attacking lead.
So Karaka coming through from the back to get that ball down.
Instruction centre. Contact goalkeeper to hold first. Further back.
Very clear instructions there by umpire Kate Wright.
Bondage break.
8-3 the score in this second quarter. Oh, Johnson going through.
I don't mind the back, what we call the backdoor centre pass from Trinidad and Tobago, but what they need is then that next move up court so they can transition the ball into the attack third. They need their goal attack and wing attack, or even their shooter coming out to provide that option.
Look, how was that for anticipation? Karaka just came through and was almost as though that pass was meant for her.
Instruction.
It actually looks like Trinidad and Tobago don't practice against a zone very much at all.
New Zealand.
And just take a look at this. Anisha Baptiste, I think it was meant to go probably to Douglas. Phoenix Karaka said, well, that will do nicely, thank you.
And once again, a two-handed pass for those watching with the coaching eye, instead of a one-handed pass which has more touch on it.
Oh, interesting. So a one-handed pass has more control.
Yes, definitely more control. And the other thing, with the two-handed pass, the defenders can actually anticipate that flight of the ball so much more easily. See, that one that just went over from McCracken was a one-handed pass, so it was actually harder for New Zealand to defend.
And Trinidad and Tobago doing well. Oh, until then, they were making all sorts of problems for themselves, but they were solving them until that last pass.
Yeah, that was better. They got it deeper into their attack third. But still, sitting on 3 goals, they'd be wanting to, beat their first quarter score of 5.
So just over 8 minutes remaining in this second quarter. 11-3 the quarter score. 33-8 overall.
I'd like to see a change of tactics from the Trinidad and Tobago backline. Maybe a split circle, just to confuse the New Zealand shooters just a little bit, and they may get that tip or deflection.
I think that little child was offering perhaps his or her soft toy as a mascot. Oh, great guard from Johnson.
Big hoik over to McCracken, which was the right thing to do. Cooper is directing traffic, but she also needs to provide that lead as well.
Just look at the way she moves. The spin, except once again, They've lost possession and away come New
Hold
Zealand.
defence, hold time, wing defence, injury. Just in the centre third.
Well, that's a shame. If McCracken is injured, she is one of their, well, I would consider better performers so far. Not necessarily in this match, but in previous matches, so that is a bit of a concern.
Right, obstruction centre. Obstruction goalkeeper.
So Janisha Casimir comes onto the court at wing defence for Trinidad and Tobago. And we've seen a bit of her.
Yeah, she's a handy player, Casimir. She might actually do quite a good job on Gina Crampton if she stays with her and really makes her job difficult, closes up the space.
Range outside in defence.
You can see Green Noel getting
Obstruction goal defence.
ready with the hoist.
And also the work of the non-shooter, Selby Rickett, going in and screening for her shooting partner. That means putting her body in the way of the defender that's putting her hand over the shot.
Oh, look at the speed of Jury.
She
Ended up with the ball, but she got around Noel.
She is so skillful, Jenny, for someone of that height to be able to move like that, plus not contact,
Right, obstruction and contact
is
centre.
extremely highly skilled.
Look, I think that's the result, I think I can say this, of sheer hard work.
Very well, boys. Contact goal shooter.
And
Contact
the
goal
ball
shooter.
going against to tire Selby Rickett with a smile.
And Green Noel is really playing up to the crowd here. She loves it.
Out of balance or off balance, Douglas coughs it up.
Effortlessly, New Zealand transitioning that ball down court.
New Zealand. Time to the centre.
So now Douglas heading for the sideline.
She's done not a bad job, I have to say, out there. She's run hard, but again, it's not just her that needs to do that work. It's also everyone else in that attack end.
Right, obstruction and
Faith
contact
Hagley
centre.
is on at centre for Trinidad and Tobago.
I actually liked what she did in that previous game when she came on for her first debut test, I think it was. It certainly was in Commonwealth Games. She actually was quite a lively player. So we want to see her really injecting herself into this attack. She needs to make some cuts and drives and work the ball down to circle edge.
Again, that cheeky little hand of Kelly Jury, but Trinidad and Tobago have won it back. Couldn't make it stick.
Offside wing attack, free pass inside.
Great discipline there by the New Zealand defence to knock that ball out, not contact, and then have a pick up on the edge of the circle. Terrific teamwork.
Oh, that's beautiful shooting.
New Zealand.
She's always been a beautiful shooter, Jenny. I love Selby Rickett's shooting action. She lets the ball go. Confidence to the post.
Right, obstruction centre.
10 from 10 for Selby Rickett, 14 from 14 for Wilson. And just one miss for Grace Nweki.
And as you can see, Saunders is doing the type of attacking that should be,
Keep going.
I guess, a lesson for the Trinidad and Tobago attackers as well. Just those short cuts and drives. Get yourself on circle edge and get it into your shooters.
So just under 3.5 minutes remaining in this first half, 40-8.
That's nice. Cooper using the width of the court is actually a good thing, but she's then got to penetrate into the circle or have her centre court doing that.
That's interesting. The look of Karaka's face, I think she thought that was going to be New Zealand ball, didn't go after it.
Obstruction goalkeeper.
Well-timed shot there by Cooper, drawing Jury into the penalty. Hands the ball over to Noel.
Goal defence.
Well, that was Trinidad and Tobago's fourth goal. Trinidad and Tobago bench can manage a bit of a smile.
Which is great. I mean, it's a big tournament for all the coaches as well, and they want to be able to enjoy this opportunity too. And I think the assistant coach, Joelle Young-Strong, has been an umpire at this level, so she actually understands the pressure of a tournament from an umpiring point of view.
Debbie Fuller making notes. Nolene Taurua just watching on. That mind.
Yeah, wouldn't you love to know what was going on in that mind right now? I think she'd be actually, Jenny, quite happy with the progression of this team. And they are a team. They really do play for each other. You can see that out on court.
And that's much better. Nice from Jolisa Cooper. So Trinidad and Tobago, they get to 5. They equal the score that they got to in the first quarter. There's Johnson weighing up her options.
Which is a good thing, and we've still got a minute and a half, so we can have up to 4 goals at least being scored in that time.
Manage contact and offside, goal attack.
Of course, it depends on how long they take, and sometimes the teams will practice, as New Zealand is now, keeping possession. They're actually taking time off the clock as we speak.
And there are moments when you want to do that, aren't there?
Absolutely.
So, and when might they be?
Towards the end of quarters, when they know they're 1 goal up and they do not want to turn over possession, and all the top teams will practice this at training consistently, both from a defensive and an attacking point of view.
Obstruction being attacked.
So the last half minute of this first half. Oh, Karaka, bang, out. That's good umpiring. Time is stopped. And in comes another ball.
Bondage contact centre.
Ah, that's great work by Jolisa Cooper.
Contact centre. Contact centre.
So Crafter takes a little quick look at the time, at the clock. It's right above her there.
Obstruction.
Yeah, well judged, New Zealand. And there is the hooter for half-time. Pretty satisfying first half for New Zealand. They lead Trinidad and Tobago 43, I think it is, 11. So, good first half for the Kiwis. Trinidad and Tobago, see, they're staying out there for a little while in a huddle.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I think they need to come together as a team. This is how you bond together as a team.
So the score is 43-11. Dominant performance so far from Pool B action. New Zealand 43-11 at halftime over Trinidad and Tobago. And there's been plenty of action in the crowd here at the NEC Arena as well. Man, they love a party, these people, but of course they are netballers. And certainly there are people from all around the Commonwealth here. And so let's take a look at some of the best bits of the first half. shot of Shaquanda Green Noel. And I tell you what, another player who's doing nicely, Maya Wilson. 16 from 16, and that's a goal attack.
Absolutely, and I reckon there's been some gains there as well that she has actually either finished off or helped to create.
And here is Afisha Noel. She's staying on. Look, she took a bit of a knock and a tumble early in the first quarter, but she is still out there. Second half underway. 43-11, New Zealand lead. Now, what do you think? What's Trinidad and Tobago going to try to do?
Well, they're just going to try and increase their score. They've scored 11 goals in the first half, so simply they need to score more in the second half and challenge themselves. At the same time, New Zealand are going to challenge themselves most likely with looking at a target similar to England versus Trinidad Tobago. They'll be very aware of that. I know their numbers man. He's the professor.
Well, that's a great start for Trinidad and Tobago.
Just patient play, good basic netball.
Body obstruction, wing attack. Body obstruction, goal attack.
At goal defence.
Contact, wing defence, penalty.
Kate Heffernan now at centre. Saunders has moved out to wing attack.
Vantage break, goal attack.
And we've got Selby Rickett at goal attack now, replacing Wilson. So we'll see a different style of goal attack for New Zealand. But you'll still see that same intent on turning ball over and doing her job for the team.
Oh, great option, Jo-Lisa Cooper. I just love the way she steadies. Oh, brilliant from Anisha Baptiste.
Positive start to Trinidad and Tobago. They lead 2-1 in this quarter.
Goal defence. Goal attack.
Baptiste sent back.
Vantage obstruction, centre.
Now, what confidence from Tapia Selby Rickett.
I'm loving seeing that shooting action of Selby Rickett. She's confident. She's just turning and shooting.
Contact, wing attack.
Seamungle's using her body. I'd like to see her using more of a movement and running action to get herself onto circle edge rather than trying to body up on Kayla Johnson.
Phoenix Karaka doing her own personal dance around Afisha Noel. Look at that footwork.
Yeah, it's terrific footwork. Nice and sharp there. She's just got to watch her hands. They don't come out.
Super start to the third quarter for Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, they're taking their shots, they're taking their opportunities when they get into the circle, which is what they need to do. And you can see the intent in the Trinidad and Tobago team in defence. That's terrific. And they need more of that.
Now they're working hard, aren't they, those defenders? Still on 100%. Oh, you can see Heffernan eyeing that up. But contacting as she did so.
Suffocating defence from the Silver Ferns. Excellent work. They nearly got a turnover there. Just missed out.
Jury so well.
Obstruction, goalkeeper. One step back.
So the obstruction call there, that was how?
When Jury did her turn around the back, what Kate Wright saw was her arm coming up and she's within 3 feet, so it's an obstruction call. And it's a very technical thing. And look, the players are doing it all the time. She was unlucky in many respects.
There's lots of little Terrys in the arena here at Birmingham. That's the mascot. I think he's a bull. Terry Bar, I'm being told, is a place in Birmingham.
Oh, there she is, Nweke rebounding her own shot. And calmly going about her business. Look at the way she plucks that ball in, Jenny. It's just wonderful to watch. Great growth from her.
Gosh, there's a lot of players here in Birmingham, aren't there, with the most beautiful takes, you know, from just about any team.
It's actually poetry in motion when you watch them do it, and particularly in slow-mo, the way it's captured by our cameras, it really shows the beauty of the movement.
Here's the first miss for Selby Ricken. Throw in Trinidad and Tobago. So let's see what they can do with this.
Traditional New Zealand defence here, the zone, but not too bad by Trinidad Tobago. That's it, a fast run down court, making space. I'm loving it. Please, more of it.
And it didn't give New Zealand time to set up the zone. Oh, an error.
So they've got to use that quick ball movement. More of that.
Body subtraction centre. Body subtraction wing defence. Footwork, free pass.
Oh, Green Noel celebrating that error from Nweke. It's nothing personal. It's just that she knows that the pressure that was built up by her team probably added to that.
Oh, well recovered.
Casimir doing a reasonable job there at wing defence, doing her job defensively. This is what we want to see. Wonderful.
Trinidad and Tobago level in this quarter, 5-all.
And you can just see a noticeable drop in New Zealand's intensity. It's not that they're playing badly, it's actually that Trinidad and Tobago have lifted their intensity. Now New Zealand have to put their foot down and start to do the work. And there it starts. Kelly Jury doing her work in concert with Karaka.
Very happy spectators.
Contact wing defence control the interference.
Taurua, I'm sure what will really be on their mind perhaps will be that big game on Thursday against England. And of course what that means, it's still the preliminary rounds because they're in Pool B and then there's Australia and Jamaica at the top of Pool A. So it doesn't mean that whoever loses is gone, but it just means that they will probably have to play. Well, you know, you just don't know because you don't know who's going to win the other one.
You actually don't, but they will know the result of the Australian-Jamaica game because it'll be earlier in the day. So they will know what their target is. And really, to be fair, they want to just win every game. I mean, that's the simplest process.
And that's it exactly, Lisa, because I wondered, does it really matter which way round they play them? If they want to win the gold medal, they've got to beat them.
Look, winning form to me is great form. You shouldn't play around with it. As a coach, it's my philosophy of not doing that, not trying purposely to go out and lose a match because I prefer a different opponent.
Oh, I'm never suggesting that.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm suggesting. I'm just saying, you know, is it the end of the world?
Absolutely not. You're in it because you're in that top four and you could have the chance of winning that semi-final.
So Anisha Baptiste heading off.
Oh, there's my favourite player coming out to goal defence, McCracken. Let's see what she can do out at goal defence. She actually might have more freedom here. The crowd just had a bit of a a moment because the ball was thrown into someone's head.
I don't think any malice was intended.
Here we have Hagley creating that space again. It's terrific. She's really using the width of the court. I'm liking what she's doing.
Possession attack.
She's watching carefully and making space. Here they go, sending the ball from the middle of the court.
Oh, nice pickup. Oh, Drury flattened.
I think she's okay. It was just an accident and she's bounced straight back up, which is pretty impressive for someone who's so tall.
Whitney Souness with a great view from the bike.
Hold on. Wing defense, that's a caution for persistent contact. Continue. That can result into a warning.
Well, that's very clear, and it's about the amount of contacts, and the umpire is well within her rights to explain that to the player and say it needs to stop. Please stop breaking the rules.
Well, Trinidad and Tobago have done a good job in this third quarter because they've really reined in New Zealand's scoring. They were 22 and 21 in the first couple of quarters. This will be goal number 12 if it goes in.
Yeah, I've just been keeping a bit of an eye on the quarter-by-quarter scores that Trinidad and Tobago and England had, and England did have a quarter that was a 15-6 quarter, so, you know, Trinidad and Tobago, when they get their act together, they actually can do a very good job putting their attack and defence together and producing a score.
Oh, I love the way Kate Heffernan punches onto that ball. On the arm there.
McCracken's
You're
really
McCracken.
look, she is working really hard to take up space. However, she just needs to ensure she doesn't push her opponent with that movement. She has a beautiful long arm over the shot there. Well done.
Let's try Selby Rickett. Another miss. Having said that, it's only 3 that she's not been able to put through the hoop. 18 from 21.
Once again, Hagley using the width of the court to bring the ball down court. As long as it goes back to the centre of the court. If it goes right over, it's too far, and the New Zealand defenders will come through.
And the crowd are doing their bit to help as well.
A lot of support here for Trinidad and Tobago.
Bad obstruction, goalkeeper.
Oh, wow. Great support from the bench.
Obstruction.
So Baptiste and Douglas.
Contact.
Yes,
They get
off. Well done. And the great thing is they've got another opportunity to score off an attacking centre pass. They want to put some goals together. This is much more positive from Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, yes, the margin in this quarter is only 6. An awful lot better than the first 2 quarters. Yeah, contact by Karaka, just a timing, just a little bit late.
Goal attack. One step back next to her. Contact, goal defense, goalkeeper.
So huge cheer goes up as Trinidad and Tobago add to their total, 55-18.
Box offside wing defense.
Kraken's doing a lot of work in there on Selby Rickett, as is Green Noel.
And I love this from the crowd.
That was hard work for the New Zealand shooters.
I just can't quite pick up what they're actually chanting, but it might be, I don't know, TNT?
It could be. I'll have to listen in.
Obstruction, goal attack. Vantage contact, goal attack.
Once again, Trinidad and Tobago, a nice patient build-up, but that's it. As soon as they put in that longer ball, New Zealand will pounce on it. They need to ensure they keep up that short, sharp attacking work in the attack third.
Yeah, lovely shooter to shooter there from Selby Rickett. Look at that from Kate Heffernan. I mean, to be fair, she didn't have to do a lot, but she was in the right place.
She was in the right place, and that is what the New Zealand zone is all about, ensuring that the players are all in the structure and all contributing to that turnover.
So plenty of time here for Trinidad and Tobago, but they cough it up once more. New Zealand
Obstruction, wing defence.
come away with it again. And look, if they want to really motor, they could probably have another one. Look, Gina Crampton up on her feet saying go for it, but I think they won't, because the hooter goes for the end of the third quarter. Good quarter for Trinidad and Tobago, but it's New Zealand leading 59-18. She was a great, from memory, I'm pretty sure she was a goalkeeper.
And again, their snazzy outfits looking absolutely sensational. But they are really talking with great energy with the team, showing what they need to do, using their hand signals, using simple instructions to reinforce what they're doing.
So there's, I think that's Taurua. No, in fact, it's Deb Fuller having a chat to Nweki. Nolene Taurua is checking her accreditation. Yes, she is allowed in.
And Selby Ricketts just having a little bit of a laugh there. Perhaps there was something on court that, you know, piqued their sense of humour. Kate Heffernan looks like she's going back to wing defence, and she will probably feel more comfortable there. Kayla Johnson's actually looking like she's in a trance.
I was just thinking the same thing, and I wonder, is that what you do? Do some players do that? They sit
Absolutely.
on the sideline.
And I think Kayla Johnson actually does do that, because she's been there and done that, Jenny. This is her time now to calm herself down, ready if she's got to come out on court.
Well, there's a party broken out in the stands. I cannot get over is that eclectic? Just the eclectic nature of this crowd.
Well, I think it reflects Birmingham. The cultural diversity of Birmingham is very, it is obvious, and it's a beautiful thing.
And there's a beautiful thing, the New Zealand flag.
I must admit, I do forget that sometimes it looks like our Australian flag, and I, think
you
of
cheer
home.
for it?
Well, sometimes I do by mistake, because they are so similar.
Players return to the court, and what's interesting here, Bailey Mears has the goal attack bib on. Fourth and final quarter underway, and what is interesting about that is that Mears, she had a few runs at goal attack early in this tournament, but you know, the shooting numbers were not good. And she's been out there at wing attack, not putting any shots up. Let's see how this goes.
Just not any rhythm in that shot. That's the issue for her. She's got to shoot through it. She's got to have a shooting routine and just pretend the defender's not there. Very, very difficult.
I know last year when she was playing with the Northern Mystics with Grace Nweki, she talked about the fact that really because she became essentially another feeder for Nweki, she lost her rhythm. She lost the feel for the shot.
And, you know, that is a thing and it is real. What we'd normally expect there, though, is Nweki to position herself to actually rebound that miss, and sometimes Bailey miss, and great intercept by Fitzpatrick. Well done.
Beautifully read.
Great.
That one goes in.
Great take by Nweki, but what I was saying before also, and there's that terrific intercept by Fitzpatrick. She had her eyes on it. She knew what was going to happen. She'd already predicted it.
So Trinidad and Tobago have got 13 and a half minutes left against the world champions.
I'm loving seeing the work of Souness and Heffernan outside the circle. They are working overtime to keep the Trinidad and Tobago, but they find the spot and it's through.
And listen to the crowd cheer. The Trinidad and Tobago flag goes up.
Great outside arm. Oh, and another great catch by Nweki. McCracken out of play.
And that's better for Bailey Mears. And I wonder if Nolene Taurua has said to her, look, just go out there and shoot.
She does. I mean, Nolene understands psychology so well. She understands how the athletes feel out there, and she wants to make sure she gives all the positive vibes to Bailey Mears because she may be needed in a critical final for New Zealand.
Contact on the ball, goal defense penalty.
And the interesting thing is that for Nolene Taurua and also for Deb Fuller, they know how each of the goal attacks combine with Grace Nweki, and so they can make some judgments about that for the next game.
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you look at the number of changes that the teams like Australia, New Zealand, England, Jamaica have been making in these games up until now, but I wonder if come Thursday, maybe not so many.
Probably not. Traditionally in netball, the coach will choose a starting seven and run with that for at least a half, but they do often have changes in mind, and who knows, Nolene Taurua and Deb Fuller might have a different structure in mind. They might actually change the team every quarter. We don't know until we see what they put out there on Thursday.
I know after she chose the team, Taurua said she wanted to be beautiful hands. She wanted to be unpredictable.
Wonderful take there by Noelle, and the balance on the baseline. Sensational.
Ricky deciding she was just a little bit too far out.
She's so measured with her shooting. It's really calm. I love the way she goes about it. She made a decision then to not take that long shot. It was a deliberate decision.
Oh, quick hands from Saunders. Oh, but no. Offensive push off from Nweki. She does tend to get a couple of those again.
Yeah, look, it's just a bit of untidiness on her part. She knows that she needs, and she's frustrated. You can see that she's disappointed. But it's something that will happen to her over the course of the game as she gets tired. She just will go slightly away from her pattern. I think they might be saying Trinidad. I think.
Well, that would make sense. I don't think it's Uganda, because that's what it sounded like the other night, but I can't imagine they would be cheering for Uganda in this game as Grace Nweke. Oh, look, the Queen's here. Oh.
And of course, Kate has been and has played netball. Princess Kate, of course. Or sorry, the Duke of Cambridge. The Duchess of Cambridge.
You're tired, Lisa.
My apologies,
yes.
Your Royal Highness. But
well,
she is a netballer. She plays it. And I'm certain William probably played it as well at university. Of course, Prince William.
Well, probably a nice moment to send best wishes to the Queen. What happened there? A drag?
I think, or it could have been using the post. Of course, you are not allowed to lean or use the post other than use it for the interesting little throw-in that you can bounce the ball off the post. Other than that, if you use the post, it is a minor infringement and it will be a free pass.
Goal attack. I need to keep the attack. Wait for the whistle. Bad obstruction. Contact with defense and bad obstruction centre.
Casimate doing a little balancing act on the edge of the circle.
Lovely shot there by Ness. She's getting her eye in now. And she is a lefty, a left-handed shooter, which is actually a little bit more difficult for defenders to defend because it's not the usual side they're used to putting their hand over.
We have now official confirmation that what the crowd is shouting is TTO.
It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. Oh, how's that? Official Noel. Well, the crowd goes wild.
Goalkeeper obstruction penalty. Obstruction.
Very clear. Very clear instruction there. Oh. Now that's skill.
I think she's having a pretty good time, Afisha Noel.
Contact, no goal. Contact, goal
Actually,
attack.
all these players are.
Another contact from...
This time Bailey Mears.
Yep, the attack. That's two contacts that have occurred in the New Zealand's attacking goal circle. And I'm loving that transition from Trinidad and Tobago. Let's see more of that. The Kraken right in it. So is Hagley. She's spinning. She's working. Seamungle also. Oh. There was such excitement there.
Misha Baptiste on the sideline with Oprah Douglas. All the ideas, all the suggestions, the pointing.
What's great about it is they're actually really connected together as a team. That will hold them in great stead for their really tough matches as they go through the week when they're playing off for places.
And they are the games that are tough, aren't they? They're those classification games. And of course you have to, that's a lovely take from Nweke.
And also a beautifully placed pass by Souness. Here it is, just up and over.
You do feel for Trinidad and Tobago because, of course, Sam Wallace should have been here, the New South Wales Swifts shooter, but had a serious knee injury this season.
Yeah, she was very much missed by the New South Wales Swifts and such an integral member of their premiership sides as well.
So New Zealand hit 70. And the quarter score, 11-4.
Yeah, they're chasing down England's score, which was 74 against Trinidad and Tobago. I'm sure it is a target in mind. Helps to keep this team really focused on their performance.
I love that from Bailey Mears, just the little pretend pass behind and then boom.
Such a skillful player, so intelligent on the court. Great decision-making skills. And there it is, the left-hand pass. She knows that needed to go higher.
They've rattled along now to 13 for New Zealand. They seem to be going in fits and starts. And, yeah, held ball. I just wonder if the Trinidad and Tobago players are suddenly just running out of steam.
Yeah, look, I think that is the case. I think they certainly gave it a really good shot in the first 10 minutes of this quarter. They've been in it. But now the score has blown out to 13-4 in this quarter, New Zealand's way, of course. Green Noel just trying to block out for that rebound, unfortunately interfered, according to the umpire, with Nweki.
New Zealand.
Interesting.
Oh, well done.
We just saw some hand signals from New Zealand's physiotherapist. I don't quite know what that means.
And I think that's going to be called replay. 1, 2.
Centre is out of play. Yes.
Here it is.
In fact, I think it was a contact, even before all that bouncing started.
I actually think that was the right decision by Kate Wright, and it is difficult from the other side.
Obstruction, wing defence. Contact, goal defence.
She's G'd up, isn't she?
Yeah,
Queen Quanda.
McCracken's having a real, and I'm going to say it, crack. And she actually is. She's making it as difficult as she possibly can and getting some tips and touches. So, you know, keep doing that. That's going to create some turnover. Oh, Soonest, that was just beautiful.
Oh, but too much. Saunders couldn't reel it in.
Again, nice fast transition by Trinidad Tobago. Where has that been for the rest of the game?
Well, I think the crowd getting in behind them must help.
It certainly does, and that is the thing. Is that going to play a part in the matches as the week goes on into finals? Will the crowd actually be that eighth player for particularly England?
Well, you have to say without doubt.
I think without doubt. So much energy is gained from the crowd. It makes players actually fly through the air and think they can do more than they perhaps thought they may have.
Good hands from Fisher Noel.
Really terrific positioning there for Fitzpatrick and Kartika. That caused that error. Just beautiful work by the two in the circle there. There was just no space. I'm liking the work of Heffernan at wing defence. I think she's very sharp. Her attacking play is on point, and she works so hard outside the circle.
Well, I wonder if New Zealand are going to have their eyes on 80 goals here. Might be a bit of a stretch. Only 2 minutes remaining.
Still possible to get 6 goals in that time. And Deb Fuller's writing down furiously notes.
Must buy milk.
Yes, perhaps it is that.
Oh, Heffernan. Speed off the mark.
She is so fast, and so is Soonest. Look at that. Just.
Oh, and they've got the penalty to come.
Speed of lightning truly is the footwork and speed of those two. Great rebound and a really lovely step back calm shot from Mess. I'm liking that.
So here we go. They won't want to muck around, the New Zealanders.
I think they know they've beaten England's score against Trinidad Tobago. It will definitely be a target. I know it doesn't mean much other than it gives them a psychological boost. They know they're with this team. They know that they have got a chance of winning a game against the home side, the Commonwealth Games defending champions.
Well, it's a great setup, isn't it? It's the world champions versus the Commonwealth champions.
It's an amazing setup. I mean, what more can you want from a Commonwealth Games to have such world-class teams? It is on Thursday night.
So time here for New Zealand to add one more at least. You can see
Back,
bit
set,
of
up.
urgency in the play.
Defense.
Well, here we go. It's going to be a penalty shot at the end. So we'll stand by. And there it is. Goal number 80 for New Zealand over Trinidad and Tobago. So in the end, 80-24.
Australia then have played in all 6 gold medal matches at the Commonwealth Games, and they are 1 match away from making the semi-finals. Top goal feeds into the circle, Liz Watson.